We're here with Matt Stilinski, and so he's been in real estate for 1 full year plus a little bit more from the year before. So from 2020, end of 2020, you started. You did all of last year. And how many units did you sell last year?
Ooh, I had well, it was 2.6 million total was the volume. I had two listings, and then buyer transactions also two, and a couple of rentals, and a commercial deal that I did.
And how much do you have in the pipeline right now?
So I'm in closing for 4.3 million right now. That's 2 units. So that's a waterfront. It's my first waterfront luxury home that I'm selling. We're on a contract for 4,025,000, and then I have another condo just shy of 150K that's in closing. And I'm working with what I would say really, at least in my point of view, hot leads are about six parties. These are all buyers though, that I'm working with right now. Yes.
And so you came in and you're using Command, I assume?
I do, yes.
Okay, and using Command, you've been using Facebook ads in there, correct?
Yeah, so I kind of the very beginning, the team pointed out to me what's possible with Command when I started with Palm Beach office, and then I looked into a bunch of tutorials on YouTube and so on to kind of understand better what else is feasible, and then bit by bit I just worked myself deeper into that. And I mean, the whole, especially for me as a dual agent, the whole smart plan automation is like a gift from God. I wouldn't know how else to do it without those smart plans. So that really is the key thing for me to to do a proper follow up and stay in touch with those leads.
So what is your formula to try to start adding people into Command as far as leads through Facebook? Is there a formula that you're putting together to try and get all these leads?
Yeah, so I use different smart plans so essentially what I do is I want to say I have like a like a bare bone type of smart plan that I always adjust depending on what kind of campaign I'm running in the end. And I like to do, and I have a lot of more information in my presentation, but I like to be hyper local. So I always try to keep the radius if you run a Facebook campaign through Command. There's like a parameter where you can set the radius of that campaign. I try to keep it as small as possible, I feel like you get better quality leads the more hyper local you are, because you can customize your communication to that specific little neighborhood that you're targeting, or part of the city. And then what I do is I have like an initial smart plan that I just auto trigger every time somebody clicks on my ad. And that is just to find out, is this somebody that is really interested? This is actually real contact information that's provided, because I'm sure everybody here on this call knows that quite often there's fake email addresses or fake phone numbers, that kind of stuff. So it just helps me sift through all the mass. And as soon as I get a response from any of those leads, then I interrupt for that particular person the smart plan, and I pick up the phone and call them up, and I'll pretty much just try to do anything to get a meeting in person to convert that online lead into a have met.
So do you have any specific smart plans that you use to do that?
Yeah, I've created my own smart plans. I'll be happy to share them. They're all in the library. So they
can just search under your name?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
And it's pretty yeah, I mean, what I did is I tweaked it over time, just where I feel like I get better responses. But it's very, I'm not trying to overload anybody with information. It's very quick, very sweet, to the point. And I just try to at least have 8 touch points. I'm text heavy on these smart plans, because I feel like when you're getting so flooded on emails, I didn't see great responses from those emails that are part of the smart plan too. But I want to say 60% is really, or maybe 70% is text, and then the other 30% is email. On top of that, of course, I do phone calls just to see, if there's any way I can get in touch with them.
Did you say you had a presentation you wanted to pull up?
I do, yes, yeah. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep, you good?
All right, cool. All right. Yeah, so I guess we can skip over this one because we kind of, let me just run through it real quick. So yeah, I was born in Germany. I'm 35 years old. Of course, worked in Germany before. I also worked in Spain and in China. So before going into real estate, there's a different side of finance and sales background, a career that I have with a building materials company. And I also did my master's in Spain, and about 4 years ago was when I came over to Florida with my wife. So we live here in Boynton Beach, just south of West Palm Beach. And we briefly discussed that. I started about 2021 was my first year. I did 2.6 million as a single agent, and then we also briefly discussed my numbers for 2022 so far. Earlier this year, I did my waterfront specialization. So that's a course that I took, and I pretty much, any waterfront home agents that I find to be, specialized in the area, I just try to connect with them and learn more from them, how they sell these types of homes, and, what types of things they're looking for. So that's kind of the area I want to zoom in on. I did my luxury home marketing specialist training. I completed that. I think it was in February. And yeah, the rest we just discussed that. My target for this year is just shy of 14 million. It's my business plan that I put together. So far right now, I'm more or less on track. But yeah, fingers crossed it's going to work out. So got to work those leads. Also, what I did is I created, I read lots of books about marketing, and I have a marketing background too, but I felt the need to, create a brand and differentiate myself in this market. So end of last year, I created this Max $1 Million Listings brand, my logo, my website. So if you go to maxmilliondollarlistings.com, you'll see my website there. So that's all brand new, and yeah, hopefully it's helping me to break further into the luxury market. I put here a couple of numbers together. So this is like my trial and error sheet on lead sources and cost per lead, what I've experienced so far. So I want to start with Facebook. I've run close to 50 campaigns, and on average, I want to say my cost per lead is about $5.58. But of course, if you really only look at the quality leads that you can generate from Facebook, and when I say quality, those are the ones that actually, somebody responding. So either it's you spoke to them. Well, yeah, actually, all of these would be, at least to me, a qualified lead would be somebody to speak over on the phone or in person. So just an email response or something like that is not enough. So if I break it down to what are actually quality leads on Facebook, it comes out to roughly $20 a lead, which is still by far the cheapest lead source I've ever found. I've tried Bolt Leads for a time. Very good for finding seller leads. I think the mistake that I did at the time was, as I was trying it out, I did not combine it with direct mailing campaigns. If I could go back in time and change something, that's definitely what I would do. So any of these lead sources as a standalone lead source, in my point of view, after a little bit more than a year now in this business, is not enough. So I need to combine them with other channels that I have. And so I think Bolt Leads for me was not successful, but if I were to do it again, I think that was my mistake. I would have to combine it with a mailing campaign and other means of follow-up. So of course, door knocking, what Patricia said, that would be key to convert those leads. So I think when I did this training or training on Facebook ads before in my market center, I did say Bolt Leads didn't work out to me. I want to be honest, the reason why it didn't work out is probably myself, because I did not properly understand what else needs to be done to convert those leads. Direct mail, I've started that too. I use Reminder Media. I like them because they, I don't know if you can see this. No, you do like, yeah, like this. So they have exercise postcards, and I really like them because on the back side, it's hard to see. Yeah, you can see like that. On the back side, rather than just having a small picture of myself and an address or whatever, I can have half of that postcard with my picture there. So to me, I haven't seen that before with other vendors that I looked into. So I really like those postcards. They come in an envelope too, so it's not just a regular postcard that comes into your mail, but actually the person that gets that envelope has to open the envelope, and then you'll see that there's a nice looking postcard in there. So it's I feel like it's a little different than SmartZip and all these things that just send a regular postcards. I've also started purchasing leads from realtor.com. Really varies where you go to, what zip code you're targeting, but can be, at least in my area, what I'm looking at is anywhere between $40 to $380 a lead. And then of course, not all of these are quality leads or are really in the market right now. So if you break it down, like on average right now, to me, it's looking like a 40% that are really quality leads. So your actual cost per lead would be more 100 to close to $1,000.
Max, this is a very powerful slide right here. I mean, if you just focus in on the actual cost per lead right there, look at that. I mean, you're showing right there, Facebook basically is giving you $20.22. This is by far the cheapest.
Absolutely. And I also want to say direct mail only started this in October last year. So it's really not enough to evaluate it. But so far I did get 2 leads out of it. Those are listing leads. They haven't converted yet, but we're in conversation about where they want to head. So hopefully, knock on wood, down the road sometime this year, I'll be able to execute on that. But so the cost per lead is really distorted for direct mail, 3,000 per lead. That's hopefully that's going to change over the next couple of months.
You ever tried using the golden letter?
The golden letter?
Yeah, using direct mail with the golden letter.
No, what is that?
Basically, you're just emailing them, letting them know you have potential buyers in their neighborhood.
Oh, I see. No, I haven't tried that. Yeah, but I'm actually I saw this. I forgot the name, but it's my colleague George Lambro from the Palm Beach office. He actually pointed out to me there's this company that do like handwritten letters. So they have robotics and stuff, and they write this letter for you. And that seems really powerful to me. I talked to an agent from Elliman actually the other day, and she said her colleagues are going crazy over it. It seems to be working out really well. So that's something I want to look into. If I find the name, I'll share it with you so we can circulate later. Maybe I'll just add it to these slides whenever we share it. But
a very good comment in the chat here about the fact that your Facebook lead, they typically take about 18 months to convert on average. So your cost per lead may reduce over time, seeing that come to fruition. So you might start seeing some more of those become leads, and it'll actually go down.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, because I'm so new to this business, I'm sure that all of these costs will come down.
You're generating leads. You're doing the work, so what you're doing is working as well.
Yeah, right. Sure. Any questions or moving to the next slide?
No, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Okay, so for me, here's just some learnings from my that I wrote down. So like I said earlier, I'm a dual agent, so I really have a time constraint. But if I just look at the $1 million real estate agent and the half mets and haven't mets type of learnings, then in order to get 10 closings, I would have to have about 25,000 online leads or 375 in-person leads. And so when I look at my Facebook campaigns, on average, I get right around 15 leads, good leads per campaign. Might be 12, but it's somewhere always in that ballpark area of 15. And then I'm looking at with the follow-up system from using smart plans and all that stuff. I get a average conversion to Met of about 5%. So these are people that do want to sit down and they're ready for business. And so that's about 20 leads give you one Met. And to me, that was, that's feel like that's you know, considering the cost that we just looked at on the previous slide, that's really extraordinary. The smart plans that I use there in the library, and if any, I mean, our contact information I'm sure will be shared. It's also on those slides. So if anyone wants to know any more about that, or I can't find them, just hit me up and I'll be happy to point you in the right direction. Here, just some. I'm going to show you 3 examples now of campaigns that I felt were really successful for me. So this campaign you see here on the right hand side of the slide, there's I use about 3 pictures typically for my campaigns, and in this case I set a budget of $40 for 7 days, and I got right around I got 25 leads out of that campaign. And then what I did is before this was a condo, it was a water view condo up in Palm Beach, South Palm Beach actually, and before it closed I recycled that campaign, so I ran it again and again. And so over these 3 campaigns, you can see here, I had 25, another 25, and then 18 leads. So that's 68 leads just from this one campaign. Of course, these, you know, when you boil it down, you get about your 6 to or 5 to 6, I want to say, good quality leads from that. But the value drivers that I use in my campaigns is you got to create this type of FOMO, fear of missing out. So anything that stands out, if it's lifestyle related or anything that's particular about the unit you're selling, try to point that out. Here, this was one of my earlier campaigns. Today, I would probably reduce the text even more. This was actually created for a buyer campaign, but I would definitely reduce the text, try to keep it as simple as possible. And the key to push any of those campaigns are the Facebook groups. And I have plenty of examples further in the back, but just to give you a first idea of how this started. Here's a second example. Pretty much, you know, it's a similar setup. This one had a fantastic XXL pool, so I try to market that. But the same value drivers, I got also plenty of leads out of this one. More than 30. Cost per lead or click was about $2.90. And then I have this one here. It was also similar budget, similar time frame, 16 leads on the first one, and then 13 leads on when I recycled it, and I just ran it again. So it's also, that one was $3.13 for those leads. Something that I realized when you run your campaign, I mean, it's one thing, of course, to just look at those KPIs, the key performance in these indexes in your dashboard. I had this nice listing that I marketed on Facebook, and it's you know, we were looking for worldwide buyers, and the thing that I realized here that I wanted to highlight here is the first 3 letters on the very left-hand side are just all abbreviations for the cities that we targeted at the time. And this one was Mumbai. So we looked at, you know, this was an equestrian home. We looked for equestrian homes worldwide, or centers, equestrian centers worldwide. And these are the ones that came up from our research. So when targeting that area, I mean, this one here in India was really killing it. You know, 92 cents per impression, $1.18 per lead. But the problem was, even though we had smart plans and everything, not a single one of those 34 leads actually came on the phone, you know, tried calling and all that stuff, but it just didn't work out. So no matter how good your KPIs are, that's the point I'm trying to make here is you gotta, even a well-performing campaign to that end can be useless. In this case, it was useless because I didn't get a single good quality lead from it. So that was a big learning to me, you know, that this is probably a campaign I would have stopped early on with the knowledge I have today. So things that I do, this, you know, starts with name and goal. Of course, it's just my personal taste. I always, like I said, I always try to very locally target my my ads, and so I just always use you know, the city description or acronym. Just for my benefit, so I know where this campaign is going, and then I compare it to other cities where I'm running it at. And The text, of course, keep it simple, keep it short. Pictures, I feel like the pictures you choose are, in many cases, people just click on your picture even without reading the text. So the pictures are even more important than the text you put in. So you got to have really good quality pictures that you use for those campaigns. And I have a business page that I use for all my ads. So it's just the setup that you see here at the page. And then I always use the Facebook lead generation form. I've tried it without the Facebook lead generation form, and it's just night and day in comparison how these campaigns perform if you do or do not use the Facebook lead generation form. So I always recommend to use it. It's so much better. And then, the rest of it really here, the button and label doesn't really matter. You can see the bottom of my screen. Oh, custom settings there. So you go to audience. Let me just remove this thing here. You click on your audience and then you can expand. So here in this case, I was trying to target the specific area of Belle Harbor. It's part of the Miami area, for those that are not familiar with it. And radius 15 miles, that's as low as command allows you to go. And then here, include people who match. Those are where, that's the area where you can add interest groups. And I feel the more matching interest groups you can add, the better actually for your ad in the end. And when I say matching, so if you're, let's say in this case, you're selling an equestrian home, and you try to market it to that specific area, you try to find anything that's in relation to horses, or maybe investors that are looking for something like that, anything in that particular type. If you there are thousands of different interests that you can choose from, but it's you'll see, depending on whatever ad or type of ad you're running, what type of people you're trying to target, what your audience can be, you'll see what's a good and a bad fit, I guess. So it's hard for me to put that in general terms, but I hope you see what I'm trying to get at. Just more examples. So something that I always try to add in is, of course, interest group Zillow and Trulia. These work really well. First time home buyer, something that also works really well. For sale by owner, all these things. So these, this will be in the slides. It will be distributed. So I'm just not gonna read through all of them, but these are just some examples that I use. And then lastly, what I do, this is what Ryan's question was up about earlier, is I do auto tags, so I know where my leads are coming from what campaign, and then I instantly assign them to a smart plan. So there's a trigger event, somebody clicks on my campaign, that's pretty much where I set it up. So I automatically assign those leads to the specific smart plan for that specific campaign in that specific city that I'm looking at, and then I just set the budget. So typically, I don't go above 10 days, and my budget is always right around $40 to $50. That's how I run it. And then in particular, because the question was about what kind of themes do get you listings, or do get you a higher chance of getting listings. I don't really have a magic formula that would only give you listing leads. But what has worked out well for me is, for instance, people that were looking for a rental because they wanted to downsize. So I got listing leads from that. I've had people that wanted to sell their current home because they're looking to downsize, not for a rental, but to actually purchase a home. So these two, I guess they're kind of similar, but these two are cases that happened a few times. And then what I'm starting to see is now that also with the uncertainty about the market, many clients ask me, hey, are we in a bubble, or what's going on? Where are these market prices going? And in my experience, when you tap into that, into providing the information with market trends, that's where you find people are trying to educate themselves about, is it the right time to sell or not? So that's what you should target in your Facebook ad. To appeal to those people, give them the information they're looking for, and then you can get a lead in that direction. talked about the downsizing piece already. List or lease, a lot of inquiries right now about people that are thinking, that have properties that they've used here just for, as a snowbird during winter time. And they're thinking about either selling it now or renting it out with the, rents also increasing so much over the last 2.5 years. They're looking at their properties more and more from an investment point of view. And, tapping into that, giving them the information, it doesn't make sense to list or lease. That's how you can find sellers. And then I got a tip from a fellow realtor who told me, hey, I'm putting these campaigns out about curb appeal and all that stuff, how to prepare a home for listing. With that in particular, I haven't had much success, but adding to that, it's one thing just to improve curb appeal and preparing your home for sale, but many times the question is, okay, what kind of vendors can I use? And if you're not familiar with that, then that's a piece of value that you can provide to those people that are looking to do that. And of course, it would make sense if you want to do something like that, run a campaign. You promote contract. You talk to these contractors that you would like to promote them. They have to be okay with it, but also if they get leads from that, it will probably be more than fair that they give you some feedback on that. Hey, you're somebody that wants me to paint the house or whatever. Looks like they're going to be selling very soon. So if you have somebody in your network and you feel like you have a good relationship with that, I think that's a key piece to find more listings. And that's it. That's my presentation.
Thank you, Max. That's a very good job. And we have a lot of questions in here, so we can go back to them and start answering some of them. Let's see here. One of the questions in here, they said bold, but I know you said bolt. What are bolt leads?
Oh, that's a provider. It's like man, I'm missing all these names of these different lead vendors. But if you go online and you search for Bolt Leads, B-O-L-T, I believe, Bolt Leads. They say they specialize on listing leads. So what they do is they create websites. How much is your home worth and all these things. So I think they have like 5, 6, 7 different websites they create for you. They run Google campaigns and Facebook campaigns, and they tie that information together. And then people that add their address and their contact information, they get like I want to say like a high level range what their home could be worth. And then it's your job you get that information, this address ABC Street was put in here, and it's Johnny Johnson, who's looking to sell maybe 3 to 6 months or whatever. You get that information, and then you have to follow up with them. But the lead generation itself, this is only for listings. It worked pretty well. My follow up was just terrible at the time.
So do you think the values there on that, or do you think it's better? You're better off putting your money like into Facebook leads or something like that?
Yeah, I think Facebook is the best option for a continuous flow of leads, because from what I've seen, so I've really tried a couple of different lead generation programs, and when it comes to Facebook, I feel like it's just so easy to do it through command yourself. You're wasting your money if you let somebody else do it. It's really a cookie cutter principle. If you just follow what the stuff that I've shown, or there's so many classes right now on that, or even if you want to YouTube search that, there's other Keller Williams agents that also promote how to do that. And I feel like I don't think there's a more efficient, money efficient tool out there to generate leads, especially if you want to build up a database. I think that's the best and most cost-effective way to do it.
Ed, what you were talking about the audiences and how you specify on them. We actually are labbing right now, so you're going to have this come out here in the next few weeks. Is the ability to actually save some of those custom audiences so you can go back to them and reuse them, not have to search them every single time. So that'll be out here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, sure.
It also gives you that guide to show you whether you're in the red or if you're in the green as far as the size of your audience as well.
Mhm.
Be on the watch out. You'll see that change here very soon. You got some love here for your aesthetics of your presentation. You did a good job there. I mean, you're already
Thank you.
marketing yourself as a luxury agent. We can see that. What else we have? Or do you have specific targets that you really hone in on to get listings?
Yes, I do, but it changes for the type of audience I'm trying to target. So one thing that I learned in marketing is if you don't believe the messenger, then your message is pretty much it's worthless, right? So you gotta look at it from the recipient's point of view. What are they looking for? What kind of information are they looking for? What are the appealing pieces of a message that they would want to see? And when you get to that point, when you understand your audience, then you can build your marketing campaign towards that and your communication. And your communication has to be easy, right? It has to be easy to understand. It has to be the message. The clearer the message is, the better. And in the end, if it comes from a credible brand, so if you're building your own brand, the credibility of your own brand is going to have a massive impact on how people will perceive and understand your message. So if I'm selling, I don't know, if I'm selling boats 99% of the time, but I market, a home with that experience, and obviously nobody's going to believe that I'll do a good job or do something at their best interest in selling that home. So whatever you're zoning in on, whatever your farming area is, or the types of home you specialize in, you want to make sure that message that you're delivering is coherent and consistent. And that's so to answer your question about the tags, when I market a luxury home, for instance, then I use specific tags that would appeal to that luxury group. So it could be, there's a luxury properties group, there's an investors group, there's like a Wall Street group for investors, right? So you got to really, there are thousands of these groups, so you got to read through pretty much all of them when you set up a campaign for your specific target, and really pick and choose which could be appealing to that particular group, because in the end, you're not only widening your audience with every interest group that you're adding, but also it makes it you're increasing chances that you'll find somebody that would be interested in what you're marketing.
One of the things I've learned in marketing too is the more you can elicit emotion out of it, the better. More likely you're going to really grab their attention too, because a lot of times people are scrolling through things and seeing those ads is scrolling. But if you can really get emotion out of them, they're more likely to slow that scroll and really look at it.
Absolutely, yeah, I fully agree. And that's where the pictures come in, right? Because the pictures are mainly the emotional trigger. And
the thing about emotions is emotion for you and emotion for me could be different things. So it depends on what we're interested in. Because if it was for Heidi, we'd have to put a bunch of dogs up, and if we have dogs up, she'd stop and look at them.
Yeah.
All right. Some other questions we have in here. Have you run ads on dual? Trying to rephrase this and make it make more sense. Have you used Facebook and Instagram and run the same ad on both of them at the same time before? And I'm going to add to this question. If you have you seen better results in any certain area?
Yeah. So when it comes to Instagram, I'm probably the least successful realtor that's out there. I've tried it, and it's just a different ball game. So what I've learned is the type of campaign you're creating for Facebook does not work the same way on Instagram, or the same campaign does not work on Instagram. Let me put it that way. So Instagram, I've tried pictures, but it's not really. Yeah, it's just not working out. I do see every now and then, you're promoting, or what I do is I promote listings that I have, or, that kind of stuff. But really, I'm not getting a lot of traction there. I think if, from other realtors that I follow that are doing a great job at it, they do videos, right? So they take you on a tour through a really nice house or something like that. And I think that gets you more traction, but it's just a different kind of ball game. And right now, honestly, I don't have the horsepower to do that.
Gotcha. I've had the same results. I mean, I've tried running them there, but I seem to get more eyeballs on Instagram. I just don't get any really the leads like
Yeah.
I do on Facebook. Um,
I think Instagram is great for promoting your brand, you know. So I know like a friend of mine, he's a realtor too. Sadly, he's not with Keller Williams, but maybe one day. But anyways, he's doing a fantastic job at, you know, promoting his brand. He's, you know, putting out there, hey, this is what the market is like right now, and here's how much I have closed, and so and so, right? So he's just constantly putting information out there, and he has like small videos, you know, like 5 seconds or 7 seconds, something like that, you know. So it's not really crazy long. But he told me he's got probably like 5 or 6 closings from leads that came through through Facebook. Actually, I'm sorry, through Instagram. You know, they somehow he popped up in their feed, and yeah. So if
we
you're
had
on it,
not long
it
ago,
works.
we had one of our agents from one of our offices come on and actually talk about how they're using that and TikTok and some of the other ones. So yeah, you can get them from there. It's just a matter of what you're doing.
Right. Yeah.
Certain material goes for certain places. One of the questions in here from my friend Hernan, he wants to know what percentage of the Facebook leads you get that are sellers and what percentage are buyers.
Oof.
I'm assuming this is talking about your Facebook leads.
Yeah. Ballpark, I want to say. So these are double transactions, right? If I find somebody that wants to sell mostly. But I would
In
say,
general, if the lead comes in, what does it turn? What percentage of them are going to be buyers?
yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it's, you know, it's a moving target, right? It goes up and down. But I would say it can be on good days. You can find 20% of the leads that come in, depending on the kind of campaign you're running. Could be potential seller leads. It can be as low as 10%.
Got it. Sorry. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so it's what I was trying to say is it's kind of hard to gauge because it goes up and down, but I've had campaigns where as many as 20% of the leads that came in, of the good leads, of the quality leads, were interested in selling. So that doesn't mean when you run a campaign and you get 50 leads out of it, you don't get 10 seller leads. That's not what it is. What I'm trying to say is the quality leads, right? So from your 50 leads, you'll probably have maybe 5, maybe 7 leads in there that are wanting to sell, and then you'll have 1, or on average 1.5 that could be a potential seller. So I think that's a ballpark number I think I would use.
Great. And Chris Walker is asking your plan for Facebook groups. So do you utilize Facebook groups at all?
I'm in those groups, but I feel like they're flooded with realtors, and so I don't really do anything there now. I'd rather run my own campaigns, do my own posts. That seems to be paying out better for me.
All right. And got any more?
Max, are your smart plans in your name? Somebody's asking how they can find your smart plans in the library. Are they
Yep.
shared?
Mm-hmm. They're shared.
You don't get to come on. I already invited you on. You don't get to come
Why
back.
am I pinned? Don't pin me.
Hey, Becky, good to see you.
Hi,
No,
Max.
she could be pinned. She could be
Sorry
pinned.
about the introduction. I didn't know I was introducing you and I had a call from an agent. I was trying to help.
Oh, no, you're fine. Don't worry.
Good to see you.
And you too.
This is the famous Becky Bell here, who is the MCA for the market center that Max is at, and she's a pretty amazing MCTT and MCA as well at that. She actually, I don't know, she's something special. So just wanted to make sure we highlighted her here.
She's amazing, that's for sure. Yes.
Thank you. And if any of you are not doing recruiting, I found Max through the new licensee list and texted him, and he came to our office, and now look at him. Texting new licensees works.
So does texting buyers and sellers.
Go for it.
I ran an ad here recently, and the campaign is working because I had a listing and I just ran a Facebook ad from it, put them on the texting, And out of the, I think I got 36 leads off of that one ad. And out of that, I've got 6 of them that are in talks, right? They're in talks with my robot, or my smart plan, but they're talking to my smart plan. So that's
Talking to
good.
his welcome.
I'm moving them through. So eventually they'll get there. And that's just 6 out of the 36. So we'll see what happens.
Nice. Good job.
That's pretty common. I mean, you got to put them on put on something, just talk to them, and they're just asking questions. There's actually one of Brett Bishop's favorites out there. She actually came in and talked for Take Command 2 years ago, I think it was. She's Lori Ballin over in Vegas. She has some really great smart plans if you go in there and look her up.
Yes.
And those smart plans, they convert. I've R&D'd some of hers. They work.
Yeah, Lori is also one of my my go-to people on YouTube. So I've seen many of her videos on how to use smart plans and what she does for online marketing. So yeah, she's really good.
Max, people are asking about how much your budget is for the campaigns, et cetera. How much are you spending per month on your ads?
So right now my marketing budget is it's $1,700 a month. That's what I'm spending right now on marketing.
And do you think your return is on that $1,700 a month?
I'll tell you by the end of this year.
I know what's coming. I'm looking for that commission request.
Oh yeah. Knock on wood. April 29th.
Your picture is already printed for the capper wall.
Thank you.
Good deal. You're doing a good job. Got a few more questions I want to get through in here. Becky says you're a gutsy spender. That's paying off. So talking about that though, when you find something, and it's not working, do you stop doing it or do you keep doing it?
I mean, most of the stuff that I do at the very beginning just doesn't work, right? There's no instant. I mean, at least I haven't found a tool that immediately works. So kind of like Patricia was saying right in the previous call about door knocking, you have to, whatever you do, you got to do it consistently, and you got to do it for, I mean, people have told me 6 months. Honestly, I feel like 6 months is probably cutting it close. I'd rather say at least 9 months, ideally a year. You want to try stuff out. So for instance, with Bolt Leads, right, I did that now about a year ago. I did it for 6 months. So my mistake, I cut it off. I should have continued it, but I also should have engaged more with people in my sphere, with other agents, to understand better what am I doing wrong, why I'm not converting these leads. Now I know why I didn't convert these leads, so I would go back and do it better today. And on the Facebook thing, it's the same thing. I mean, it's number one. This one I feel like is, especially for brand new agents, this is, in my eyes, the best lead source you can get, other than your sphere, of course, because it's just so dirt cheap to get really good leads. Yes, you got to work through a lot of volume. Not everybody's going to be willing to talk to you. Not everybody's going to give you good contact information. But guess what? Same thing when you do door knocking, and you're going to be able to grow your database really fast, which I love about that. So for me, for instance, I'm not from Florida, and I don't really have a huge network here, so I have to build it, and that's a great way. That and door knocking is a great way to get yourself out there and grow that database.
That comes up quite a bit. So thank you for saying that. I hear a lot of agents say, well, I'm new, so it's going to take, you've been doing this not even 2 years, and you're already capping pretty much. You're right there, right?
Came close last year, didn't make it.
Hey, we got to start somewhere. You're a dual agent. You're not even doing this full time.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Max, somebody's asking how, and I put in the chat that the Market Center Tech Trainer can help agents set up the automatic triggers. But can you quickly say how you assigned your leads to automatically go into a smart plan?
Yes. So
earlier on that. So if you want to go, in the interest of time, we're not going to go back to his screen real quick, but this will be put up on our website. So feel free to go back and pause and rewind this whole video and watch it again. But he did bring his screen up to show that. Go ahead.
Yeah, in the smart, I'm sorry, not in the smart plan, in the ad campaign, when you set it up at the very bottom, when you go to customization, you can choose tags, and right below tags, there is the type of smart plan you want to trigger through this campaign, and then your actual smart plan, you have to set it up that it can be triggered through a click event, right? Somebody clicks on that campaign, then the smart plan starts rolling right away. But
And
yeah, I mean, I'll be happy to share these slides and send them out. It's in there too.
if you want to send me the slides, I'll make sure that they attach
sure.
some videos as well. And Becky, you put a very smart comment into the chat, and the fact that your MCTs can help you out. You guys don't understand how lucky you are. You guys probably have some of the best market center tech trainers in the country right here in South Florida. I mean, these guys are high level compared to what I see throughout the rest of the country. You got some of the very, very best here. I mean, you see them on Take Command each and every month, and I can't talk highly enough about them because they're so awesome. But Max, you've got two really good ones. Your market center with Becky and Kyle, they're there to help you. Anybody else who has any questions about it, feel free. If you don't know who your market center tech trainer is, please ask your office or ask me. I'm happy to tell you who it is. But if you don't, then we just need to get that market center tech trainer to start knocking on your door a little bit more.
I did see a question somewhere regarding my website. So it's Create Media created my website. It's at the very bottom of my website. There's I think they're the contact information for them. They did a fantastic job for me, so I highly recommend them.
All right, so we got 10 minutes. I want to make sure we give everybody back their time. Thank you so much, Max, for coming on. And again, this is recorded.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be put on our website. You guys can go back and watch it, rewind it, and get his great content, because he does know what he's doing when it comes to marketing. Obviously, that shows because he's about to close on a very big deal very soon. All
Thank you
right.
very much, Ryan.
Thank
Becky,
you, Max.
also thank you.
Max, thank you.
You guys have an amazing
Appreciate you.
little break right here. Actually, this isn't a little break. This is a very long break. This is our lunch break. So enjoy our lunch, and we will see you guys back here at 1 o'clock. If you want to keep it on, we'll have music playing, and we'll have a picture up in the background. And if you want to just take a break and come back, you can do that as well. But please do come back. We really appreciate you all coming on today. This is one of our larger audiences for Take Command. We've consistently kept right around 150 people. So we're at 142 now. Y'all taking off lunch. So please do come back. Bye,
Max,
guys.
can you put your website in the chat? People
yeah,
are
sure.
asking.
Yes, let me do it right
They're asking for your Facebook. Are you single? Just kidding. He's not. He's married to a beautiful woman, and they actually have a property management company together.
That's true. Yes.
Makes him not dual agent, but triple agent.
Yes. He's a businessman.
Try my best.